Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in, y'all, for another one. Make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/shop if you want to support the movement. And you can actually get yourself some fly gear, raise the consciousness level of those around you, and even remind yourself in the mirror when you see that slogan, the voice for the people. You know what I mean? We got our logo, alternate color logo too. All types of different colors, shapes, and sizes to our garments and gears, and it match anything in your wardrobe, keep you scabby, keep you swaggy. You know what I mean? Or all sorts of scattered color color patterns and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely check us out and support us as we continue to support y'all. 300,000 died in the United States due to COVID-19. That is a large number. And what's even more alarming is that we were just at 250,000 not too long ago. So we're at 300,000. It seems like it's the rate of which people are dying and being infected is increasing. Right now, the total infection number is over 16.2 million. So both are world records since the pandemic, and it's been a crazy year for some. We weren't always the epicenter, but we are now. Shit. But nevertheless, you have the first doses of the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine being sent out to all 50 states today. The first shipment of vaccines should cover about like 3 million people. Now, I told y'all how last week that Pfizer BioNTech vaccine was actually approved first by like a vaccine advisory board, and then it was up for approval by the Food and Drug Administration. Well, they approved that instead of on Saturday, on late Friday, and actually the commissioner for them, Stephen Hahn, said that he said this on Sunday, that he was hoping that the first people will be injected today. So we will see what happens. He also said that he responded to accusations that he sped up the process because he was threatened by Trump. But he said the emergency use authorization process was based on a thorough review of science and data. Now, keep in mind, the White House seems to still be favoring Moderna, and Moderna in their vaccine is looking like it's going to get approval and actually be allowed to be administered by the end of this week. According to the advisor for Trump's Operation Warp Speed, the operation designed to get vaccines out to the public as soon as possible. The advisor for this was Monsef Xiao, however you pronounce his weird ass name with all them vowels. Shit. Nevertheless, you have 100 million doses is what the White House actually ordered last week from them, and they're saying that should be a supply that'll last up until June 2021. So this vaccine trial shit is underway. It's officially here. People are getting vaccine for COVID-19, a disease that just came out of nowhere and took the world by storm, and now got people scared to go outside. Currently in the U.S., it's one of the leading causes of death, if not the leading cause of death. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So out there in throughout the United States, actually, we have unemployment benefits that are actually set to expire for like 12 million people on the day after Christmas, and the moratorium on evictions, basically pausing all evictions throughout the country, whatever, that's set to end by the end of this month, when the ball drops. So a lot of meeting and litigation needs to be done on a congressional level, and that's what's happening. So Trump actually signed a 1-week extension on Congress coming to an approval or a decision on what the government funding is going to be, because they need to actually get this budget in order to avoid a government shutdown, because the government can't function if they don't know if nothing is budgeted. So you have this going on, and it's still like Congress continues to butt heads on this new stimulus package bill and appropriations package. So we will see what this turns out to be. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report, man. Shout out to Trader Truth. For those who don't know, this is Texas rap icon, that especially down there, whatever. And this actually adds to that status where he actually pushed the county sheriffs down there in Harris County to allow for this new rule to now go underway, where in Harris County, the people in the jails, they will actually be able to attend virtual funerals while they're in prison throughout the pandemic. So it's a big win for, just like human rights or whatever, because how many times, jail niggas know, people have been in scenarios where they're at jail for some very important life events or things that you would just, it would irk your soul if you're not able to be at, like births or like funerals, you know what I'm saying? And you know that allows at least for a little more human connection and support from the people that just get fucked up and get incarcerated. Green War and graduation up. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So it's 1.6 million deaths due to COVID-19 worldwide. That's where the numbers are right now. And total infections worldwide, at least known infections, is over 72 million. The numbers are always typically believed to be a lot higher. You got countries that aren't reporting their numbers on purpose, some that don't even have the means to actually know how many people are truly infected or dying from COVID-19 or whatever. So you gotta keep that in mind. But nevertheless, we are at you got countries like Germany who are they're instituting like hard coronavirus lockdown measures, saying that the existing ones are not working to curb the stem of surges that they're seeing right now. 20,000 people were infected on Sunday. That's a 10% jump over the from compared to last week or the last week. So it was crazy in Germany. And then you got South Asian countries. You talking about like South Korea, them seeing 1,000 new cases on Saturday. They're starting to impose some measures. Remember, South Korea, they were like praised for how they were handling COVID-19 back in the spring. So them seeing surges. Keep in mind, they're talking about 1,000 over here in the U.S. We're talking about 200,000 in a day. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in perspective. And then you got 3,000 new cases that had actually took place in Japan. That's their highest daily world record. Meanwhile, in related news, you over in Albania, protests have gone on for the 5th straight day at an airport where they were protesting against the murder of a man by police who was enforcing a coronavirus curfew. Green War and graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So electoral college voters are actually gathering all throughout the country today at state capitals to basically place their votes for president. Now, the electoral colleges, for those who don't know, they're supposed to vote according to what their state ends up voting for. So if you're a part of the electoral college for, let's say, Texas, then all 5,000 of you motherfuckers, or however many electoral college points they get or whatever, all of them are supposed to vote for who the people, a majority of the people voted for. But you know, we've been led to believe that it might be some fireworks with this. Nevertheless, they submit those votes today. Trump still contending that he's won the election, or that his process to overturn the election is not over. But interestingly enough, over the weekend, the Supreme Court did reject 9-0 the lawsuit that was actually brought up by Attorney General for Texas, along with attorneys general for 17 other states, and then it was also backed by obviously Trump, and then like the majority of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, bringing up the lawsuit, basically trying to overturn the results in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and Wisconsin, basically throwing out millions of votes and all of that, whatever. Well, the Supreme Court rejected that shit. And mind you, Trump put 3 of them motherfuckers in the Supreme Court. So I guess they really thought that they was going to get the Supreme Court to just go with them. And shit, they had me fooled. I'll keep it a stat. Nevertheless, they got that lawsuit rejected. Then Trump had another lawsuit that was turned down in Georgia, as well as them trying to overturn 200,000 ballots in Wisconsin, but that got rejected. So he taking L's left and right, like motherfucking shit, like you know what I mean? These lawyers is going down like Nate Robinson in these motherfucking courthouses. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, if you're a lawyer and you do law and you want to continue to practice law, you probably don't want to really be associated with the Trump campaign lawyer squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, associate. You probably don't even want to have lunch with these motherfuckers, but it's getting bad. Nevertheless, you have those numbers that are still being put forward, and the voting is still supposed to take place over in Georgia, where today they're actually having early voting for the Senate race that's supposed to take off, the Senate runoff race that is supposed to take off and be official by January 5th. The winners, if Democrats win both of these Senate races in Georgia, then they get the majority of the House, or Democrats get the majority vote when it comes to bills that actually pass through the Senate. Since Kamala Harris is the vice president, so her vote would be like 51 to the 50 Democratic senators. You know what I'm saying? So interesting how the tides could turn so quickly. Green War and graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So protests actually went down in Washington D.C. this past weekend. On Saturday, you had thousands of Trump supporters. You know, all the far right motherfuckers. They had no mask on. They was all rallying at the National Mall, protesting, basically demanding that the government reverse the election results of claiming that Joe Biden won the presidency. So you had a bunch of protesters, but interestingly enough, when the protests actually got to downtown Washington, you actually had like police cornering off the scene, and they were actually using batons and pepper spray against the counter protesters that were down there, basically, you know, objecting the actions of the Trump supporters. So at least 33 people were arrested. Interestingly enough, and 4 people were stabbed. Like, so it got real violent. And after the stabbing happened not too long after members of the far right group known as the Proud Boys. Remember, Trump gave him a shout out at the debate against Joe Biden: "Stand back and stand by." Yeah, I mean, he and he said that when asked to denounce the white supremacist group, the Proud Boys. He was like, "I'll tell them to stand back and stand by." Y'all remember that shit? That's a soundbite. That's going down forever. But nevertheless, these same Proud Boys were actually ripping off Black Lives Matter, you call them, banners from what was considered the oldest African American church in DC, and then they brought it in the middle of the street and burned it to the ground. And they vandalized another historically black church in a similar manner. So you had Black Lives Matter DC, speaking up, basically saying how, like, the police and Muriel Bowser, the mayor, basically they were not protecting the people there. You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly. So, that's what's going down over in Washington State as well. The police arrested a far-right Trump supporter who actually allegedly shot some anti-fascist counter-protester at competing demonstrations up there in the Capitol, Olympia. So, Green War and graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So, outside of Bergen County Jail in Jersey, this past Saturday, you actually had a bunch of people standing in solidarity with prisoners on the inside that are actually hunger striking, protesting against their treatment by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the strong arm of the the Department of Homeland Security, the immigration police. They basically have felt mistreated, and the activists that are actually out there demanded the release of all prisoners during the COVID-19 pandemic. Police came down on them and actually was hit with like smoke grenades and pepper spray to break up the crowd protesting. 9 people were actually arrested, so it got physical, very physical. And then also in the day before in New York on Friday, they were actually activists marching in solidarity with these Bergen County Jail hunger strikers. And 6 people actually ended up injured. Some of them with broken bones when this woman actually drove her car through the crowd of protesters. She actually was charged with reckless endangerment and some other nutty shit. So we'll see how this turns out. Green War graduation. This reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in India, you actually have farmers all throughout the country that are actually protesting and doing a one-day strike, calling on Prime Minister Narendra Modi to actually withdraw this legislation that's actually put out that is basically forming agricultural reform in a way that basically deregulates the agricultural market, allowing big corporations to come in and lower their prices far below what the rest of these farmers are doing, and basically putting farmers' lives in jeopardy. So they're calling on, I don't know necessarily, me personally, what a one-day strike is going to do, you know what I'm saying? But they are doing that, and farmers around the world are actually joining them in solidarity. So we'll see how this turns out. Green War and graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Nigeria, authorities are actually searching for over 300 school children after gunmen basically came down on motorcycles to this secondary boarding school, all boys boarding school in Katsina State. They basically opened fire on security forces that were there before abducting these school children. Now, while they captured hundreds of the students actually managed to escape by going into a nearby forest. So the gunmen didn't make any demands, and their motives are just right now unknown. They don't know who they were. So we'll see how this story develops. Green War and Graduation. News reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So in breach of a ceasefire that was actually reached in November between Azerbaijan and Armenia, Azeri and Armenian forces actually went back and started firing at each other this past Sunday in the Nagorno-Karabakh region. The region that actually contains the Caucasus Mountains, you know, where they say white people crawled out of. Now check this out though. This ceasefire that they actually had was basically an end to a 6-week bloody ass war, and you know, it was looked at by Azerbaijan as like a victory. So we'll see what this turns into. Apparently the victory is not set if you know, Armenia is still in there fighting. Apparently Russia has sent 2,000 peacekeepers into the region. Green War and Graduation. News reporter of the World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So Israel has actually established full diplomatic relations with Southeast Asian country Bhutan. Now this has been like part of a role that Israel has been on as far as establishing diplomatic relationships with countries, but it doesn't seem to be related to what they've done recently with 4 Arab nations, the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, that is, Bahrain, Sudan, and just last week Morocco. Keep in mind, Morocco, I mean, that deal came with some United States agreement, and them acknowledging that they actually run the Western Sahara. So we'll see how this all develops. Green War and Graduation. News reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So as far as that deal that came between the United States and Morocco, as a result of the Morocco establishing relationships and normal relations with Israel, that being itself rare, since you know it's the Jews with the Arabs, and you see how the Jews, Israel is over there treating the Palestinian Arabs. So you know, but back to this deal between the U.S. and Morocco, is with the U.S. agreeing to acknowledge that Moroccan sovereignty over the Western Sahara in Africa, which is often considered Africa's last colony. Along with this acknowledgement, you have the U.S. now adopting an official new map that gives Western Sahara to Morocco. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So European Union's chief negotiator said that some limited negotiations were actually made on these contentious Brexit negotiations that are taking place between the United Kingdom and the European Union. Now, I've been updating y'all over the last couple of years about the back and forth over the Brexit, or the British exit from the European Union. And this actually comes with this past Sunday, there being, or this upcoming Sunday, pardon me, both parties agreed to extend the deadline past that Sunday in order to avoid a no-deal divorce that will take place by the end of the month. But both sides actually feel like it's like reaching a deal is highly unlikely. Then you have Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the UK, who's basically saying that there is some like serious and very, very difficult issues between the UK and the European Union. And the best thing to do is for everybody to gather all of the information that's been tallied up over the last 4.5 years, the stuff at the ports and all of that, whatever, and get ready to trade on WTO terms. WTO is the World Trade Organization, so they trying to go global with it. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you have Alfred Borges, This is a 56-year-old black man, used to be a Louisiana truck driver until he was convicted of abuse and murder of his 2-year-old daughter back in 2004. Well, this man was actually executed. This is a black man. Another black man executed a day after Brandon Bernard was executed, the person that Kim Kardashian was out here vouching for, and who many people believe should have been, it could have been innocent. But you actually have on this front, this is somebody who actually had a intellectual disability, and it should have kept him from being executed, but the Supreme Court basically rejected that call for that execution to be stopped, and allowed for it to take place. This is the 10th federal execution that's taken place this year since Trump actually had brought it back after it was dead as a thing for decades. And this is he brought it back in July, and mind you, there's 3 more executions that he has planned before Biden's inauguration. All the black people, y'all. Like, I'm not saying all 13 of them was black. I'm saying these last 2 and these upcoming 3 is black. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit weird, y'all. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So in the United States, up in Oklahoma, 3 officers have actually been placed on paid administrative leave after they killed this black man, Benny Edwards. Now, Benny Edwards is somebody who was struggling with mental illness. His family said that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Nevertheless, witness video shows that these officers had surrounded him and started firing at him as he appeared to run toward with one of them. But apparently the officers kept shooting at him even as he started running away. And there we go, have another dead black man that was unarmed at the hands of police. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Louisville, Kentucky, this past Saturday, family members, friends, and protesters of Chris Smith actually held a vigil for her. Now, this is somebody who was a business owner, an activist, 42-year-old woman, seen as a prominent figure in the protest against the officers who killed Breonna Taylor. And it's crazy because it looks like an assassination because she was shot and killed inside her car. And this is weeks after another prominent figure in the protest demanding justice for Breonna Taylor was killed, where you had Hamza Travis Nagdi, nicknamed Travis, whatever. He's 21-year-old and he was killed and shot in a car. So right now it's the investigation is still underway. We'll see how this all turns out. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So I told y'all about how the House of Representatives actually passed a veto-proof majority bill for the National Defense Authorization Act, $741 billion. Well, this has also been passed by the Senate, the veto-proof majority. And you still got Trump threatening to veto the shit on Monday or whatever, but it doesn't look like it's... can't happen basically by the rules of the law. Law and order, right? Trump. Now, check this out though. It's Bernie Sanders, Vermont senator, and the dude that I was going to vote for, who ran for president or whatever, known progressive, democratic socialist. He actually voted against the bill, basically saying that, our priorities are twisted. Like, why are we giving $740 billion to the Pentagon, to the military, spending more than the next 10 nations combined on our military? Green War and Graduation, something to think of. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So on Sunday, you had the Trump administration basically saying that the United States government's information system has actually been hacked into, especially including email servers from the Commerce and Treasury departments. Now, this hacking actually is considered to be the biggest breach of data for the U.S. government in years. And actually, they feel they're strongly certain that the hackers were part of Russian intelligence, and that they basically have had access to government networks for months due to this programming flaw. So we'll see how this all turns out and what it might turn into. Trump, he should have checked Vladimir Putin when he had the chance, you know what I'm saying? But you know, he was pussyfooting around them, and now they still doing the thing. Shit, for all we know, this might have been a collaborative effort, because it's very interesting as the Commerce and Treasury departments. What are they going to do with that information? I suspect it's going to be some more targeted marketing and propaganda in order to help the far right in this country, and therefore help Russian interests. Maybe, you know, I don't know. We'll see how this how the plot thickens. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. After 105 years of having a name, the Cleveland Indians will actually change their Major League Baseball name away from it being the Indians, you know, because this always has been seen as a slap in the face to Native Americans who are not Indian, but then it would have a picture of them looking like, you know, obviously how you would imagine, or how we've caricatured Native Americans in this country. So so first they removed the logo, now they're removing the name. I wonder what they're going to be called now. The Cleveland C's, because they just had the C on their logo for quite some time. I mean, we'll see how long they go with that. I mean, I'm really curious, you know what I mean? What do y'all think is a good name for them? I think they should go with the Caucasians, you know what I'm saying? Why not? And you know, have the same Cleveland Indian logo, where instead of the feather you had the dollar sign. You know what I mean? You still had them big ass teeth and the smile. You know, you got white skin instead of red skin. Think about it. Green War and Graduation though.